The next session is all about developing leadership for a positive future. Hello again.
And you met wonderful Professor Nick Haysom from the United Nations yesterday. And I wanted to tell you, when David and I first started to develop One Young World, and it's exactly 2 years ago this month, one of the first people that we went to see is we went to New York to see Nick Haysom, and I hadn't seen Nick for many years since he's become such an important person. But I sat down with him and his people, and I said to him, I want to explain this idea, and this is what we want to do. And this man who's achieved so much looked at me and said, oh, I wish I had had that when I was 25. So come on, Nick.
Next up is Rachel Haltom-Irwin. She's youth coordinator and a former coordinator for the White House intern program. She was the Iowa Youth Vote Director of the incredibly successful Obama campaign. And she also worked for Walmart Watch, which was keeping tabs on that corporate monolith from an ethical and consumer and socially responsible perspective. So welcome to the stage.
And we're welcoming again now the wonderful Oscar Morales, who I see has been talking to all of you, inspiring all of you. My favorite quote about Oscar was one that we heard when David and I were in Washington in December, when the director of policy for Facebook called Oscar the most important Facebooker in the world.
High five.
And then finally, Martin Davidson, who did a great job for us this morning, the British Council's chief executive. You saw him host a fantastic session just before lunch and has been doing some terrific work for the British Council. Martin Davidson. Not Martin Davidson.
Not Martin Davidson.
Okay, well, we'll carry on, and it wasn't quite as embarrassing as the Kofi Annan. No Kofi Annan. Katie, do you want to do the draft resolution?
I should do. Okay, to the global consultation process for the 10-point results on politics for a positive future. Okay, so highest strongly agree and agree, up at just under 80%. Upholding human rights should come before any political activity. And I would imagine, given yesterday's debates, we're on our way there.
I think it's also just worth pulling out, as you look at that chart, the bottom two bars. I trust my country's political leaders. You know, you've kind of got about 30% of the people strongly agreeing or agreeing, and I trust the world's political leaders, it falls below 20%.
You know the thing that's worrying about that one as well, and I know you've all been talking about how this is the nation of one young world, and we're, you know, not going to do vertical stuff, but this is worrying. I would be interested in standing for election in national politics. Nobody. I think the world's going to need you.
So, the draft resolution, if we can pull that up, please. In the belief that upholding human rights is essential, we call upon our political leaders to make clear their stance on humanitarian issues before we consider our support for them.
And the related Millennium Development Goal, or MDG, as Nick has taught me to call them, Goal 2, achieve universal primary education, came up this morning. Promote gender equality and empower women, came up a lot yesterday. And develop a global partnership for development.